Greetings, my people. Hope you're all doing fine out there. It's been a long time. It's been what, 2 weeks since we posted, but we've had some health issues. We've had to have an operation and so on, and we'll talk about this another time. Don't want to bore you, but we've been in hospital and so we're recovering, but we're fine again now. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you haven't subscribed already, like all our videos, share our videos, leave your comments down below as well. You know how to subscribe to videos and to channels, I should say. Just click where the subscribe button is down below beneath the video, and then you'll subscribe. It's pretty simple. It doesn't cost you a penny either, or a cent. Depends on what part of the world you're from or where you are around the world. So we'll say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. And this is Arsenal Future, a very young Arsenal fan channel. We've only been going for just over a month now, because we launched on the 26th of May, and here we are, and we've only got one subscriber, so we've got a long way to go. We're here to talk about Arsenal, the transfer market, and some things that have been going on for the last couple of weeks while I was recovering and while I was being treated. And there's so many things to talk about. So we're going to try and cram. We're not going to cram everything in this show. We're going to probably do it as a 2 or 3 part. But for the time being, we'll talk about Kai Havertz. And Kai Havertz, Arsenal signed him last week from Chelsea for £65 million. And I think that's a very good transfer. A lot of Arsenal fans are skeptical about the transfer, because they're saying that he flopped at Chelsea, and which is true, because we haven't really seen the best of Kai Havertz at Chelsea. You know, he's only had 1 or 2 highlights, and I suppose his biggest highlight was actually scored in the Champions League final against Manchester City 2 years ago when Chelsea won the Champions League. He scored a winning goal. But we've seen him in fits and starts. But when he was at Leverkusen, he was really talked about as being one of the best up-and-coming young players. And even at that time, back in 2019, 2020, around COVID time, Arsenal were linked with him strongly. And I remember we looked as though one stage we wanted to sign him. But Chelsea came in, and then Chelsea won the battle, and then he went in up at Chelsea. But now we've got him. We've got to see what Arteta can do to him, to see if Arteta can actually bring out the best in him. And the players we have around us, because we're a lot more attacking than Chelsea. And I think our style of play will suit Kai Havertz a lot more than it did at Chelsea. Because Chelsea, for some reason, they seem to be a graveyard for strikers and attacking players. If you notice, over the last 10, 15 years, a lot of their strikers that they signed, they don't seem to do well there. Lukaku is one example. There's many other examples. Many years ago, even probably going a bit further back before that, and Adrian Mitu, who never did anything there. You had Matthias Kezman a few years ago as well, maybe back in about 15 years, 16, 17, 18 years ago. Matthias Kezman, he flopped there as well. So a lot of strikers, the only striker I can think of who actually done well in a great way is Didier Drogba, and he's a club legend, you know. But a lot of the strikers that Chelsea bought have flopped, surprisingly. But they've won a lot more than Arsenal in the last 20 years. We're a bigger club than Chelsea. Overall, our history is bigger than theirs. We've won more trophies than them. But the last 15 or so years, they've won more than us. They've won 2 Champions Leagues. They've won the Europa League twice, and so on. They've won more league titles, more Premier League titles as well. I think where we beat them is probably in FA Cups in that period of time. But for me, Kai Havertz is a good signing, and it looks as though he's going to be playing with Odegaard as a left 8. Odegaard will play as a right 8. Kai Havertz will play as a left 8, and you've got hopefully Declan Rice sitting in front of the back 4 to give the license to Kai Havertz on the left side of the midfield, and then Martin Odegaard on the right side of the midfield, attacking midfield, 2 attacking 8s going forward. He's not really a striker, and I think Chelsea, for the most part, were playing Kai Havertz as a striker, and I don't think he could play as a false 9, and he could do the false the false nine role, and he could do probably the number 10 role. But not many teams nowadays play with a number 10. They play with either a full striker, or they play with just an attacking midfielder or an attacking eight, or two attacking eights, which looks as though we're going to be doing that next season, along with, obviously, as I just mentioned, Kai Havertz and Martin Odegaard, with, of course, Declan Rice sitting as a number 6 in front of the back four, and just behind those two. So it's going to be rather interesting to see actually how it pans out. But I think he's very languid. He's tall. He's very languid, but he's very good on the ball. He's a bit like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, very tall, but very good ball control and close control, and he can do audacious bits of skills. So that'd be very, very fascinating to see if he enhances our attacking play. I still think we need another striker, because Gabriel Jesus is not actually an out-and-out striker, and he's not very prolific. I think the most you're going to get from Gabriel Jesus is 15 goals. I think Kai Havertz might score a dozen goals. If we're lucky, yeah, might score a dozen goals. Odegaard might score a dozen. Saka might score 15. Martinelli might score 15 as well. So we're going to need a 20 to 30 goal a season striker. And I'm hoping that, I think Osimhen, I'm not sure if we can get him. I think Osimhen's probably going to be priced. We're going to be priced out of the market for him, because I think Napoli, and they're very, very notorious to deal with, they're going to be asking for the earth. So we're going to have to do some scouting, possibly get somebody from South America. There's some hidden gems out there. We just have to have our eyes in the right places and see if we can nab a gem out there at a bargain price, so you can hit the back of the net with great regularity. And so there you have it, £65 million. I thought we should have got him for 50, but Chelsea are very good at selling players. Unlike us, we struggle to sell our players. We end up have to pay them to leave. But Chelsea, they paid, I think it was £75 million for them. So they made a loss of £10 million. So hopefully it's money well spent by the Cronkies and by Arsenal, and hopefully Mikel Arteta can integrate him into the squad, and that he fits our style of play, which I think he will. It might take a while to get used to it, but I think after a while, I think you see the dividends. I think we reap the dividends of having Kai Havertz playing out our front line. Obviously, Declan Rice is another transfer story. That was Kai Havertz. He was confirmed last week from Chelsea. Now, Declan Rice, Arsenal made a £105 million offer. It's actually £100 million with £5 million in add-ons. And West Ham succumbed after we bidded twice before. Manchester City came into the bidding, and they offered, I think it was something like £80 million of £10 million worth of add-ons. And then we went back and bidded £100 million of £5 million add-ons. And then Man City never came back, and then so West Ham accepted that offer. So it's down to Arsenal. The medical is set for next week, I heard. And I'm hearing that it should be all but confirmed by Tuesday of next week. So we've still got a few more days to sort of like, and to wait until he's officially unveiled. Because us Arsenal fans, we kind of like are very skeptical when we sign players. We don't like to actually count the chickens until they're hatched, until we see the player holding up the shirt and so on. So and standing next to Mikel Arteta, flanked by Edu and Arteta. So we have to just hopefully that will be confirmed on Tuesday. And we were also linked with Timber, Jurriën Timber from Ajax, a young Dutch international. He can play in a number of positions. He can play as a right back. I'm even hearing he plays a left back as well. He can also play centre back, and he can also play in the midfield. He also does that inverted role, which of course Zinchenko does on the left hand side. He's very quick, very fast, very tenacious in the tackle, very good on the ball. He's young, so of course he's not the finished article yet, because he's 22. So for the time being, we have to be realistic and say that he's still a very developing player. But for somebody of his age, he's extremely good. And hopefully he can come to England and adapt to the Premier League. A lot of players from Holland have not adapted, or they've taken a very long time to adapt. But hopefully he will adapt. It won't take him too long to bed in and to settle into the team. And then, of course, Mikel Arteta will obviously let him know what needs to be done, what his role is, and then hopefully the coaches at Arsenal can bring him on. And then I think maybe you won't see the best of him until the second part of the season into next season. I think the first 6 months will be like a test and see. You know, I don't think he'll be playing regularly. I think he'll go in and out. Ben Wright plays on that side, so he'll rotate with Ben Wright. And if he plays in the centre, sometimes he'll probably rotate with Saliba, with Gabriel, sometimes with Tomiyasu, with Ben White as well. Oh yeah, that side. And of course with Kyria. Kyria's there as well, and Kyria plays in the centre also. So now all of a sudden Arsenal got a lot of competition for places and a healthy squad rotation and healthy squad options. And that's what we've been crying out for a very, very long time. You know, as I said, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Arsenal Future. Spread the word, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the old man on the street, tell the young lady on the road, on the street. Let everybody know about this channel, this new Arsenal fan YouTube channel called Arsenal Future. Of course, the background not today because I'm doing something over there, so I've taken the shirts usually be in the background, so I've taken the shirts down, so I'm sitting over here and I'm doing some work over there. And so hopefully by the next couple or few streams we'll be back to know the Arsenal shirt in the background, and we'll be sitting over there. But for now we're sitting over here just in case you want to know where's the shirt. Anyway, so yeah, so we'll cover those 3 signings. Obviously Kai Havertz has been confirmed. Declan Rice is pending. He's on his way. It's just a few technicalities to iron out. And then Julian Timber, we bid I think £40 million. Ajax said no, we bid £30 million. Ajax said they wanted I think €50 million, which is about €50 million is about £45 million, £43 million. So Arsenal went back and bidded, and then it's been accepted. And so now it's just technicalities to sort out. I think personal terms have been agreed, but it's just a matter. It's only a matter of a few days before really Declan Rice is confirmed and Julian Timber is confirmed. And I'm hearing that they're not going to stop there because we're still linked with people like Lavia from Southampton. We're still linked with people like Diaby from Bayer Leverkusen, the winger. You know, and we're linked to 1 or 2 other players as well. We're linked with Javi Simmons, who's actually owned by, I think he's owned by PSG, but he's playing for PSV Eindhoven. But I think he's got a buyout clause for as little as about £5 million. Yeah, so we're still linked with a few players. Audaciously, we're linked with people like Mbappe, but he won't come to Arsenal. I think that's Real Madrid territory all along. Real Madrid, that's Real Madrid's man. So I think it's wishful thinking. The thing that we can get Kylian Mbappe at this moment in time. I think that's one's out of our basket. Osimhen's linked as well. I think that's more of a possibility. But again, Napoli's chairmen are very, very hard to deal with. They're very notorious in their dealings, Napoli. So I think he will ask for the earth. So we'll have to see. But we need a striker. We need a striker / wide player, another midfield player, and I think we need a backup goalkeeper as well. I'd like to take it Onana from Inter, but it looks as though he's going to Manchester United. So for the time being, that's all we have time for now, and possibly later on. It's come up to about 9 o'clock now. Maybe later on, if I'm free, if I'm not doing anything, I might do another video because Cesc Fabregas, our legendary midfield player from years gone by, has retired today, so I want to do a video about Cesc Fabregas. So if I don't get a chance to do a video about Cesc Fabregas, paying him tribute later on, I'll do one tomorrow. So keep it locked to Arsenal Future. As I said, subscribe, like, share, leave your comments, spread the word, and thank you so much for your participation, my people. So take care out there and be good now. Stay blessed. Peace and love.